Welcome back to the Everybody Eats podcast, the show where we talk about growth, mindset, personal development, sports, and more. Because what? Everybody's got a plate at this table. I'm your host, Mark B. I'll be having someone join me shortly, hopefully. My current co-host, he's busy, so he wasn't able to make it. But we're going to get on with the show today. We got a full spread of conversation for you today. It's Friday. You know what that means? That means it's Super Bowl weekend. It's finally here. We're breaking down the biggest game of the year. NBA action is heating up, coming off a crazy trade deadline. And March Madness is right around the corner. Plus, we'll talk about the mindset it takes to stay sharp on and off the field, in and out the arena, in and out the classroom, and in and out of this thing that we call life. And for all my sports bettors out there, we got some picks that you might want to lock in before the weekend is over. So grab a seat, grab a plate, and let's eat. Let's get into it. Man, the NBA trade deadline this week was one of the most eventful in recent memory that I can remember. There was several significant moves reshaping the league's landscape. And here's a breakdown of what actually went on. The biggest trade of the deadline, Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in a move that took everybody by shock. Luka was traded for Anthony Davis in a first round draft pick, plus I think a couple other players was in there like Markieff Morris and Max Christie, I think. But man, that trade got the potential to shift the balance of the power in the Western Conference. As you see, LeBron at 40, he's balling right now. That man is balling. And nobody can deny it at 40. There was also a lot of other trades this weekend. The impact on contenders like the Golden State Warriors. They acquired Jimmy Butler. The Warriors boasted their roster by getting Jimmy, providing Steph with another star to enhance their aspirations. But me personally, how I look at that, man, I look at Andrew Wiggins and Jimmy Butler as pretty much the same player. So my perspective, I don't think that they upgraded. I think they let go and sent off a younger version of Jimmy Butler. Andrew Wiggins, he plays defense. He's a 3-and-D guy. I just don't see why they did it. I wouldn't have did it, but hey, I guess that's why I'm not an NBA GM. What else happened, man? Oh yeah, the Spurs. The Spurs added De'Aaron Fox. Now I think that has a potential down the line to be like one of the best trades, especially De'Aaron getting up out of sack. We know what was going on for years. I've been saying myself that he needed to get out of there, and I never really looked at the Spurs as being on the radar for being like a destination for Foxy, but man, I can't deny it. Him with Victor Wembanyama, that got the potential to be something, honestly. It was some underrated trades, like the Yusef Nurkic trade to Charlotte. That was underrated. The Charlotte acquired him from Phoenix for, I think, Cody Martin and some other dude. But that got them that reliable center because they ended up sending Mark Williams to the Lakers. Boasted the Lakers roster. Surprised to me was DeAndre Hunter getting traded to the Cavs. Now that was that was an underrated quad. That gives the Cavs a wing defender. And I think he can shoot a little bit. He can score the ball. But yeah. Other player movements, I think we had Kevin Porter went to the Bucks from the Rockets. That gave them depth. I mean, they sent away Chris Middleton, but we all know that he should have been gone. There's no denying that. It was some salary. I think the Yusef Nurkic trade was a salary cap move, setting the Suns up for the future. Because who knows? I don't think KD's going to be there that long. Bradley Beal's probably the surprise is Book is probably not going to be with Phoenix that long. Out of those three, I think one, maybe two out of the three may be getting traded, but we'll see. A controversial move that happened with Zach LaVine to the Kings. I don't know what that was about. That was kind of surprising, but it really wasn't because we know that they were it was been talks. I think the last couple of years of should they move off of him? Are they going to move off of him? Ended up they did. I was really thinking that Zach was a franchise cornerstone, honestly. Phoenix Suns did not trade KD. That was crazy. They chose to keep him, which, like I just said, I think that he's about to get up out of there sooner or later. What else happened, man? It was a lot of other stuff that happened in there. The Charlotte Hornets, they accumulated some draft picks That was crazy. Position itself for a move. Probably not this offseason. Pretty much, it's more likely going to be before next year's trade deadline. So it was crazy, man. It was 21 trades to 25 teams. That's crazy. That's a crazy number. In the past week. That lets you know that nobody's safe. That's what AD you can tell, and nobody's safe. But I think all that set the stage up for a good second half of the NBA season, with teams positioning themselves for playoff success and future championships. Back to that Luka trade, yes, I think that sets them up to have a successor for LeBron. I think that was definitely a great, wonderful, wonderful addition. You know what I mean? To set themselves up for success. Oh yeah, man. I mean, the NBA's in a good place. To me, right now, the NBA's in a good place. A very good place, if you ask me. What else we got going on, man? So yeah, I mean, for the bettors out there, it's some decent lines out there today. Not too many. I think the ones that stick out, if you really just trying to hit and do something, for me, what I was looking at is Princeton -5.5 versus Penn. Why? Because Princeton, they've been dominant in the Ivy League, and they play good at home, and they struggle on the road. So I think that makes Princeton a really solid pick to pick for them today, minus that 5.5. And the other pick that I will go with, UConn versus St. John's. I mean, UConn, even though they're not as good as they used to be, but that they was, I say, last couple years, but they're still pretty good. They have a deep roster, and they play defense for sure. And St. John's been inconsistent. So I think in the end, UConn should pull away late and cover that spread, but I don't know. But as always, if you're looking for a safer play, just take it money line, Princeton and UConn. In the NBA tonight, I think the two games that's good to follow to go by, to go ahead and pick the Milwaukee Bucks -5.5 against the Hawks. Why? Because the Bucks are still one of the best teams in the East, with Giannis and Dame. They should take care of business against an inconsistent Hawks team, even on the road. So I think Milwaukee should cover that spread. I believe Miami covers that -3 against the Nets, because the Nets have been struggling. They're not that good. The Heat, they have, I don't know if Wiggy's playing tonight or not, but they're still a good defensive team. And Miami's still right there in the playoff hunt. So, if I was a betting man, that's what I would take. And as always, the safest bet is always to take it money line, for sure. Moving on, people. The Super Bowl is finally here. This is what we all been waiting on. Surprising. We're going to see if Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest to ever do it. Even thus far in his career, he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks that I've ever seen. And it's crazy because I'm like, man, I was doubting that man for so long, but it just seems like he shows up. He shows up. It's hard to bet against him. I think the Eagles, when they traded for Saquon Barkley in the offseason, I really saw that as a power move. And me, as a Cowboys fan, I was hurt because I knew what that would likely do. Their team, Princeton money line, UConn money line, first half, VCU money line, okay. But and no, KD do not want to go back to the Warriors. But I personally think that the Eagles are going to win. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be high scoring. Now, it does have the potential for Patrick Mahomes to lead the Chiefs to a late game winning touchdown, as he always does. While the Eagles offense, I think they have the firepower to keep it tight. The Chiefs' ability to capitalize on key moments and their experience in these high-pressure games, I think, gives them the edge. And I think I go back to a game earlier this year with the Eagles when they played the Commanders up, I think, 21 maybe, or whatever they were up, and the Commanders came back. That definitely has the potential to happen, because we all know what Patrick Mahomes is capable of, flat out. But if the Eagles do use their strong defense and that dynamic offense, I could see them pulling that out 34-31. I think that's a solid prediction. It could definitely go back and forth. But it is. Who's getting the Super Bowl MVP? Man, so if the Eagles win, I think I'm going to have to rock with it and say Saquon gets it. Just because he didn't, I think he rocks with it and gets it. But Jalen Hurts, don't slip on Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts do show up in big games. But we all know clearly, if the Chiefs win, we all know who's getting Super Bowl MVP. That's not even a question. We know who's getting Super Bowl MVP if the Chiefs win. Patrick Mahomes, of course. But yeah, man, that's what's going on in the sports world. And speaking of all that, like I look at the sports world and I'm looking at all these things and I see that, all these athletes like LeBron, Luka, Anthony Davis, those two players in Luka and Anthony Davis, being more specific with them, because it feels like they got kind of blindsided with their trades. That's just in the sports world. And then, Super Bowl, obviously, the media is everywhere. Everybody's talking, and the Chiefs could have a lot of distractions because they're trying to go for that 3 in a row. I think the talk that I want to shift into, that growth mindset, that personal development talk that I want to shift into for this particular conversation, I got a question. What does it mean to stay sharp no matter where you at? On the field, in the office, in the classroom, whatever your arena is, because obviously everybody's not professional athletes, but everybody either has a career or they have something that they're striving to do. And I know that, man, you can get off kilter sometimes, things can get distracted, but how do you stay focused? Yes, as we got messages rolling in, keep your eyes on the prize and definitely see the bigger picture. Most definitely. I think the key points to stay sharp is about that mental clarity, man, that focus, physical readiness, but it's also about maintaining the edges in all areas of life. It's not just about the grind. It's about sustaining your energy, sustaining your motivation, and your awareness over time. Because it's crazy because I quite forget this book that I read, but it talks about how you lose small increments of focus over time, especially in this day and age. We're in the social media age. Everybody's always in their phone or, then it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to lose motivation, especially when you're not getting to where it is that you're trying to get to fast enough on your time. I see people, they definitely lose focus. What else we got? So I think with that, sustaining all those things, and motivation, awareness, and all that over time, the importance, then it becomes, yes, the 5 Ps, proper preparation provides that good performance. Absolutely. But the importance of consistency. How important is consistency and staying sharp? Man, consistency is everything. I promise you, consistency is everything. Regardless, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're going to school, whether you're working, whether you are starting a business, whether you are in a relationship, whatever it is that you're doing, those athletes out there, whatever it is that you're doing, man, consistency is the key. Consistency is the key in building the habits that keep you sharp. Because whether it's consistent training, mental exercises, or staying engaged in your work, consistency is what keeps you there, man. It's what keeps you on course. You know what I mean? You have a baseline. That consistency gives you a baseline. Even small daily practices can compound into huge results. Just like in sports, because we all think sports today, where little actions like working on your footwork or shooting your shots in the gym, or those quarterbacks practicing, throwing those, getting their accuracy down, the golfers on that swing, the batters going in that batting cage. All those things can improve your game significantly over time. And if we apply that to life, I feel like that those actions that working on Twitter is like bettering yourself day after day after day. And it's not going to you're not just going to go from one low to an extreme. Like things just take time over time. You know what I mean? But small wins, man, small, tiny wins, man. And that's why I love this book called Make Your Bed. It talks about just those small wins during the day, getting up the first thing in the morning and just making your bed. That's the first win for the day. That gives you that, you got that. And then if you don't complete, and the thing about that is what I got from that, if you don't complete anything else that day, you came back to a made bed. That's a win. You can go back like, man, at least I got one win today. So then you strive to do better and you strive to get, you know what I'm saying? Now you working towards something. You put that in your mind like, man, yeah, I got something to work towards now. You know what I'm saying? I can always come back to that one win that I got. And then you just start stacking wins. And as you start stacking wins, they compound and eventually it just hockey pucks. You know what I mean? And I think one forgotten thing for everybody is that physical fitness and mental toughness. How does staying physically fit contribute to mental sharpness? And vice versa. Physical fitness isn't just for athletes. It improves your focus, it reduces your stress, and it boosts your overall energy. You feel good when you're physically fit. When you work out on a consistent, all these things is leading from that consistent basis. It's creating good habits. You know what I mean? Being physically sharp, whether you're lifting weights or you're doing yoga or you're staying active, moving around, it directly impacts your mental performance because now you're able to do what? Stay focused. You know what I mean? That mental toughness is all about resilience, man. Man, I done been in some places, man, where you got to stay resilient, especially mentally, because at the end of the day is how you respond. How do you respond when things aren't going your way? That is a good question that everybody should ask yourself. How should you respond? And how do you respond when things aren't going your way? In sports, it's like not letting a bad play mess with your confidence. So quarterback go out there and throw an interception, man, forget about it. Next play. DB go out there and miss a tackle. Linebacker miss a tackle. They run for a touchdown. Man, you got to get that. You just got to do. It's about doing better the next time. You get a bad grade on that assignment. Man, go back and do it again. Man, you fall short. Your business falls short on your profits this quarter. Man, you got to go back and just do it again. It's not like, don't let that mess with your confidence. Man, that girl tells you no. That you try to talk to. She tells you no. Hey, man, listen, no just means next opportunity. You know what I mean? No, all no's aren't bad. And in life, it means pushing through challenges without losing your focus. So many things can happen and it could trigger you or whatever it is to lose your focus. When you get, like I talked about yesterday, man, it's like staying connected. You know what I mean? Staying connected, staying present in your journey. Everything isn't going to go exactly how you want it to go. It's just not. It's not going to go how you want it to go. You're going to have bad days. You're going to go through adversity. Man, everything. And it's like, how do you respond? You push through. You push through. And that's a challenge. And what did I say about challenges, man? Dominate your challenges. Whatever it is that's challenging you, whoever it is that's challenging you, man, dominate your challenges. You know what I mean? And I think moving on from that, and then after that, I feel like so many people forget about the role. How does that play into you staying focused, into you staying sharp? Recovery is often underrated, but it is crucial to preventing like burnout, maintaining long-term performance. This could be in the form of rest, mental breaks, nutrition, or even disconnecting from the world or training or whatever it is that you're doing to recharge. That's why you don't go to school 12 months out of the year. You get days off from work, or at least you should. You should set yourself as a priority, because if you don't set yourself as a priority, you're going to burn out. And then, I mean, shifting from relationships, even if you guys are together all the time, there is moments where like you need to have some individuality. Like it's just, baby, go ahead and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's her going to get her hair done or get her nails done or out with the girls or whatever that may be. Go do that. And then for the fellas, it's like, man, like I know for me, like when I'm in my season, you know what I mean, and do it like watching the game, just chilling. You know what I mean? Reading, just like getting, like for me, a big one is cooking. Man, I love it. You know what I mean? I love to get in the kitchen. I love to do that. That's what I do. But that gives you that time to reflect on yourself too. Like, and to recharge your battery and to get some recovery, because you're going, and you're applying all these things. And it's like, man, when do you get time for yourself, man? You got to make time. Recovery is definitely essential in keeping and staying focused. Your mindset and your mental conditioning. How important is it? Mindset is your mindset and staying sharp. A positive, focused, and growth-oriented mindset, people, is what allows you to stay on track when things get tough. Period. Because like I said, when it does, and best believe me, it will, because most of you have experienced it already, things are going to get tough. It's just what it is. But having that positive and focused and growth-oriented mindset, is what allows you to stay on track when things get tough. It allows you to stay on that mindfulness practices, visualization, or simply having clear goals that can keep you grounded in laser-like focus. If we equate it in sports, the mindset can be a difference between bouncing back from a tough loss and getting stuck in a slump. Literally, because we've seen it. In life, it could be what keeps you moving forward in your career or studies. You know what I mean? It could be what keeps you moving forward in your career and your studies, or what holds you back. And like, I think when it comes to this, then you start shifting into excuses, making excuses, like becoming complacent. Like, man, I didn't graduate when I wanted to, or man, I didn't do this, or man, I didn't get that job, or man, whatever, man, adversity, you're going to experience it. But man, what's your bounce back? Where's that resilience? How are you going to come back from whatever it is that you went through? So I think all these things, and these are just really important. And then I feel like overall, not really overall, but another point is you got to have some adaptability. You got to ask, how does adaptability help us stay sharp in unpredictable situations? Because you best believe that, man, life is unpredictable every single day. You never know what's coming at you. Life, just like sports, throws unexpected challenges at you. Being adaptable and open to change is crucial for staying sharp. I promise you. You have to be able to be adaptable. You have to be able to adapt on the fly. Things change drastically and gradually, as I said yesterday. This might mean switching up your routine sometimes when something's not working, or staying flexible in your approach to your projects, to your workouts, or your relationships. Sometimes you just got to switch it up. It's just, and I don't think it's really not the extreme part of switching it up, but just adapting, adjusting, just understanding and coming to an understanding like, man, this ain't working. I have to do something different. If you're leading a life that it is that you don't like, change it up. Do something different. It's literally that simple. Like, it's that simple, but I know change. And as I said, that's one you have to, a part of that adaptability is becoming comfortable with change. You have to be comfortable with change. For example, being adaptable might be switching your game plan mid-game based on how your opponent is playing you. Man, they're playing zone. Man, we gotta switch it up. Man, they're double teaming this receiver, man. We gotta switch it up. Man, they're loading the box. We can't run the ball. How are we gonna respond to that? In work or school or in your life, in your relationship, whatever it may be, it might mean shifting your priorities as new tasks come into. You know what I'm saying? You might have just had a baby. Your kid might have got older. Your kid might have graduated and moved out. You might even have gotten into a new relationship. Or you might have just left a relationship, or you might have got a new job, or it's just so many different things. But you have to shift your priorities as new things come in. Then that's just part of being adaptable. You know what I'm saying? Changing with times. We see LeBron did it, and everybody at first they said, man, LeBron can't shoot, man, or whatever. But now LeBron adapted to the way that the game changed. He did. In the bigger picture, long-term vision. How does keeping your long-term vision intact help you stay sharp in the day-to-day grind? When you're grinding, whether it's studying for exams, prepping for games, working on your career, holding down your relationship, it's easy to get lost in the short term because you have all these little short-term goals and you kind of lose sight of where it is and you kind of, that direction you was going. It's like, understand and keep your eyes, because one thing you can't do, you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. You can't drive a car with your eyes closed. And you can't drive a car looking at all the different landmarks and everything that you pass. It's just like, obviously we see these things, but you have to keep your vision of your end goal of where it is that you want to be, because that's your vision. Now stay present, right? Don't get it twisted. Stay present. Go through life, whatever it is that you're doing, stay present, man, because enjoy it. Because by the time you get to it, it's like, man, that just blew me by. What? And it's like becoming a championship team, or earning that promotion, or getting married, or whatever it is. It helps you stay motivated and sharp in the smaller daily task. because this is what I'm working towards. Man, I'm working towards starting this business. Man, I'm working towards graduating. Man, I'm working towards getting married. Man, I'm working towards saving this amount of money. I'm doing this. But it's the small things on the in between. You know what I mean? That's the bigger goal, is to save this amount of money, to get married, to have that wedding, to get that promotion, to do all these things. It's not just about the grind. It's about making sure the grind aligns with your bigger goals and your values. All that has to add up. And if what it is that you're doing and who it is that you're dealing with or whatever it is, man, if that does not align with what it is and where it is that you're trying to get to, man, come on now. You know, I don't have to say it. You know what to do, man. Get up out of there. I feel like all these things, in the closing thought on all this, man, I feel like stand sharp, stand focused, stand prepared, and all these things isn't just about showing up when it matters. It's about building the habits. It's about building the mindset and the resilience to be ready at all times, no matter the arena that you're in. Whether you're on the field, whether you're in the office, whether you're in the classroom, or you're just navigating life, success comes from the daily commitment to growth, discipline, and adaptability. It's about balancing hard work with recovery, surrounding yourself with the right people, keeping your vision locked in even when things get tough. The real edge isn't just talent, it's consistency, preparation, and the ability to rise to the occasion when the moment comes. And it's crazy, man. I learned something, I adapted something in my life, and it says, we never rise above the occasion. We only rise or fall to the level of consistency and expectation that we placed on ourselves. And with that, man, what all I gotta say is, man, thanks for pulling up to the table, because at Everybody Eats, there's always a seat for those who are ready to feast. But you are not at the, if you're not at the table, best believe that you're on the menu. Stay sharp, stay hungry, keep building. Until next time, we'll see you at the table. I'm out.